In 1962, I traveled to Spain to study with Jose Tomas. Tomas was not only a wonderful teacher, he was also Segovia's assistant at the guitar master classes that Segovia conducted in Santiago de Compostela. The following year, I took part in the first of 5 master classes that I had with Segovia. Also, I was able to study with Segovia privately when he was on tour in the United States. These meetings gave me an opportunity to question Segovia in detail about the way he played the guitar.
Very well, very well. I like the sound and I like everything, the interpretation, and very well. It was very well studied.
Segovia wrote a letter for me which contained the line, as a teacher, he is able to transmit to the students his perfect knowledge of the guitar technique. I have decided to transmit some of the things that I learned from Segovia. At one of our meetings, Segovia brought out his nail kit and proceeded to show me how he prepared the fingernails of his right hand. The first thing he brought out of his nail kit was a diamond nail file. He held up his right hand with his palm facing him and mimed filing his nails, making motions like this, and telling me to shape the nail round like the fingertip. I think what he meant by that, the part of the nail that barely shows above the fingertip should resemble a thin crescent moon, round and blended in on the right and left side of the fingertip. He also used this file to smooth the underside of the nail, but he warned not too much. The next thing he brought out of his nail kit were strips of abrasive on a cloth backing. These strips that I've made up out of micro mesh have a similar look and function to what Segovia used. He held them like this in his left hand, put the right hand nail edge into them, and made a rotary motion to polish the edge of the nail. He also used these strips to polish the underside of the nail. When he finished with the various grits of the abrasive strips, the last thing he brought out of his nail kit was a small Arkansas stone that he used to polish the underside. I use a fine micromesh pad to polish the underside. I asked Segovia if he thought I would be able to use this nail shape. He looked at my nails and also rubbed the pad of his thumb over the fingertip, I think to see how smooth the transition was from flesh to nail, and told me that yes, I should be able to use this nail shape. On the internet, I see recommendations for right hand position with the hand held straight from the wrist, bent from the wrist, one position for free stroke, one position for rest stroke, and so on. For Segovia, the right hand position was arrived at by simply relaxing the wrist. All the muscles that hold the hand in place are turned off. And then the arm rests on the guitar in such a way that the arm is supported yet retains free movement. In this position, the left side of the fingertip makes first contact with the strings. And then when playing, the string slides along the fingertip and nail from left to right and off. For liquid rest strokes, the end segment is also relaxed. For free stroke, the fingers pulled more from the tip to avoid the adjacent string. Rest stroke, free stroke. The thumbnail, which is also round, first comes to the string slightly closer to the center of the nail, and then when playing, slides along the nail from right to left and off. I asked Segovia, when playing with the right hand, exactly where does the fingertip make first contact with the strings? Segovia replied, if I had to think about that, I would go out of my mind, and demonstrated with the guitar like this, showing that with his way of playing, the exact contact point was actually very forgiving. What I've shown was one part of Segovia's way of playing that helped him fill the major concert halls of the world on a regular basis for decades. And his playing held the audiences absolutely spellbound. I hope that what I've shown has some value for guitarists.